Hello everyone, my name is Gabby and today I'm going to be bringing you a discussion video regarding BOOKCON 2017. So this year BOOKCON is taking place June 3rd and 4th at the Javits Center in NYC, and I'm going to be there both days, which I'm very excited about because not only is it my second time at BOOKCON, but it's my first time in New York, so I'm really excited to get to explore the greatest city in the world and get to meet up with so many book people, get to meet so many authors, and just have an amazing experience. So because I am relatively a newbie to this convention, I know what it's like to be so excited about this event because it really is a book lover's paradise. But with that, it can be very stressful and very anxiety inducing because you have no idea what to expect, no idea how to plan or how to prepare or how to even go about figuring out the best way to make sure that your convention experience is successful. So I wanted to make a tips and tricks / survival guide video to talk about BOOKCON and the ways that you can prepare for the convention, because really, based on my own experience from last year, 90% of it is planning and making sure that you know what it is that you want to do and how everything works and some of the rules and things that you need to follow. And the more that you're aware of that and the more that you have an understanding of that, the better convention day will go, because you'll know everything that you need to do and you'll be able to just go in, do what you need to do, and enjoy yourself and have fun. So I wanted to talk about that process rather than just like day of stuff. So 90% of this video will be the planning for BOOKCON, and then the other 10% will be some other day of stuff to be aware of. So some resources that will be linked down below for you in order to make sure that you are even more successful in your planning for BOOKCON. I'm going to be linking down below all of BOOKCON's various social media and means of contact, such as their Instagram, their Twitter, all that other good stuff, as well as their website, because really BOOKCON's website is the #1 tool that you can use to plan for the convention. That's what I'm going to be using, that's what everyone else is going to be using, and I hope that that is what you'll be using as well. So of course I want to make sure that you're able to get access to that, and it's also in all of the links for BOOKCON's different social media, so you should be able to find it really easily. But on BOOKCON's website you can get access to the guests, the panel times, the autographing times, any other questions or answers, everything will most likely be found there. So of course I wanted to give you access to that. I'm also going to be linking down below some of my past videos regarding BOOKCON 2016, which includes a vlog, a haul, an experience video, and an unboxing of my badges. I really think all of that will give you a very visual idea of what to expect for BOOKCON. So how is the show floor set up? How many authors am I going to meet? Is it something that's really stressful and really chaotic? When I talk about that in my experience video, really it's all very positive, and I had a wonderful experience last year, so I'm not going to be talking so much about that. So if you want to watch and find out about my experience at the actual convention, you can go and watch those videos, and I think that they'd be really helpful if you're looking for more of a visual experience. I'm also going to be linking down below all of my social media, which includes my Instagram, my Twitter, and my Goodreads, because if you have any questions, I know some people would rather DM and rather have it be a personal conversation than just leaving a comment down below. But if you want to do that, that's totally cool. I just want to make sure that you have any way to contact me. If you have any questions at all leading up to the convention, I'll try to answer them to the best of my possible abilities or direct you to someone else who can answer those questions. Finally, I'm going to be linking down below 2 other booktubers that have made similar videos like this, and that is Emma from Emma Books and Danielle from Simply Thoughtful Books. They both made a BOOKCON survival guide tips and tricks videos that I watch and I think are really helpful as a newbie, because I know that if you're looking for these types of videos, you want to have more than one type of output to go to. Everybody has different experiences and everybody has different reactions to certain things that take place throughout the convention and different things that they think are important to highlight in these types of videos. So what I say in this video may not be mentioned in either of Emma or Danielle's videos, but they may mention something that I don't mention in my video. So the more resources you have, the better prepared you'll be for the convention. And I know that if you're looking for these types of videos, usually you want more than one person to be able to tell you what to expect, because everybody has different experiences, everybody has different ways of looking at things, so we're all going to suggest different things that may be important. So I want to give you 2 other resources that I think are really trustworthy and really reliable to plan for this convention. So all of that will be down below, and like I said, any questions at any time you can ask me on any of my social media or leave comments down below, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my possible abilities. With that being said, we're going to dive right into discussing how to plan and prepare for BOOKCON 2017. So first things first, you have to get your tickets. The ticket mailing deadline is April 28th at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. So if you do not have your tickets yet, you have about 3 days to get them before you will have to wait in line at Will Call to pick up your tickets. And for like the 2% of you that have not gotten your tickets yet, get them now, because you don't want to be waiting in line in Will Call. It just won't be fun. You won't be able to queue for panels or for autographing sessions, and you'll miss out on a lot, especially if you want to meet popular authors or attend popular events. You're going to want to make sure that you have your tickets. And I guarantee you that 98% of you watching this probably already have your tickets because you're going to have to do some form of traveling or other planning. But I'm just putting it out there that you want that that mailing deadline, April 28th at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. If you don't order your tickets by that point, they will not ship out. You will have to wait in line at roll call, and you don't want to do that. That's just leaving it at that. Simple as that. Get your tickets as soon as possible so that they can mail out and that you'll be able to just have that and not worry about it when the day of comes. So for the most of us that have gotten our tickets already, the next thing that you need to do is register your badges. This is something that a lot of people may not be entirely aware of. The tickets that you get in the mail are not Ticketmaster tickets or tickets that you would get for a concert or for a Broadway show. What you get is a badge. This is the badge from last year, and since it was a one-day convention, I only received one badge. But this year, BookCon is a two-day convention, so you will receive a badge for Saturday and a badge for Sunday if you are attending both days. And every single badge will need to be registered online through BookCon's website, which is why I'm linking down below my badge unboxing, because I think it's really helpful to see how they come in the mail, what they look like, and how you go about registering. Pretty much what happens is that ticket mailing deadline is April 28th, so sometime like first week of May, second week of May, tickets will ship out and you'll receive them in the mail. At that point, you will receive them in a mailing envelope, and there will be all of your badges, and there will be a letter from BookCon just sort of with the usual spiel. Thank you for attending the convention. Here's a link where you can register your badges and all that other good stuff. So how this works is that there's a sticker that is on the badge. It's like right about here, right in the center, that has the link that you put in to your computer or wherever to go and register the badges. And then from there, BookCon takes you through the entire process. You put in your first name, your last name, your email address, your date of birth, and then some of your bookish interests, so that if a publishing company wants to scan your badge, they can scan the QR code right here, and they can get all of your information, so that if they want to sign you up for a newsletter, they have your email, and they can say, oh, she's interested in young adult books, so we'll put her on a young adult newsletter. Simple as that. So registering your badges is extremely important. One, not only does it need to be done before you attend the convention, but two, these badges are going to be used for panels this year, and this is something new that they're implementing. I did not know about it until they just recently announced it. I don't know if this was something they did at NYCC when they had BookCon there in October, but they didn't do it last year to my knowledge. This is a new system, and you're going to want to have these badges registered if they're going to be scanned, and the process is relatively easy, relatively simple. It shouldn't be anything too hard, but just some quick notes about this. You're going to have to register every single badge that you buy. So if you bought two badges, one for Saturday and one for Sunday for yourself, both of them need to be registered to your name. And if you're bringing along a parent or guardian or a friend and they are getting badges for Saturday and Sunday, you will have to register both of them to their names. So if you're housing more than one set of badges for yourself, I would come up with some system to be able to distinguish them, whether that be just putting a sticky note that has your name on there and then a sticky note that has your friend's name on there, so that you know that that is her badge registered to her name, because you want to be wearing your badge when you go into the convention, because you do need to be wearing these all day. This is your access into the convention, and you need to have it around your neck at all times. If you do not have this badge, you will not get into the convention. So what BookCon does is, if you don't have a lanyard, they have like a whole box of them. This is a lanyard that they gave out last year. It's very generic and very simple, but you are going to need to be wearing these, so you're gonna need a lanyard of some form, whether you bring one from home or whether you just get one at the convention is fine, but you want to have these registered, you want to have your badge, and you want to be wearing them all day. This is relatively simple, and I feel like I'm taking a really long time to explain this, but I want to make sure that everyone understands, because it can be a complicated and confusing process if you haven't attended for the first time. To sort of re-summarize it again, get your tickets before the mailing deadline, which is April 28th at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time, and then register them online once you get them in the mail in order to ensure that you're able to attend the convention and that everything goes smoothly. So number two is the most important, and that is planning out your schedule. This can be a very difficult thing to do because BookCon updates their schedule in waves, so maybe they'll announce a wave of guests and then maybe they'll announce a wave of panels, but you don't get all of your information all at once. So what I would suggest, because BookCon implements this system, is to constantly be checking the website for any updates. And if you notice that they put in their first wave of panels, which they just did recently, go and look at the website and immediately write down any panels that you're interested in on your schedule, because that way it'll make it a lot easier for you to go through all this information, because I couldn't imagine just suddenly going to the website when everything's up there and combing through 2 days worth of information and events. It would be a lot to take in, and you want to make it as simple as possible for yourself. So constantly check the website and see what updates they have. If there's a guest you're interested in, write their name down. If there's an event that you're interested in, write it down, and just constantly keep track of all of that, just to make it easier for yourself instead of going and processing all this information at once. So when it comes to creating your schedule, you want to have at least several different formats to be able to put it together. And some suggestions that I would have for this, number one, is to write it down on a sheet of paper, whether it just be like a notebook, printer paper, or whatever it is. Have it written down and have a physical copy of it that you you can easily like scratch things out on and really work with. You may be changing things and you just want to have a physical copy that you can hold in your hand, so that would be one suggestion that I would have. Number two, maybe put one in the notes section of your phone so that you can quickly go and grab it and get access to that. You can use something like Word or Google Docs. This is my preferred format just because I like typing, because my handwriting is not so neat, so I like being able to type it out and format it and be able to bold things and just format it the way that I like. So write down everything that you're interested in, write down your schedule in a Google Doc. Then there's two other formats that BookCon provides through their platform. Number one is through their website, and it's called My Show, and I believe BEA has this as well. Pretty much what you do is when you register your badge, you create an account through there, and so when you go onto the website, you're able to log in and then you're able to favorite events that you're interested in, so that if you want to find out information about a particular event, you don't have to scroll through every single event on their panel page or on their autographing page. You can just immediately go to your favorites and find that and get the information that you need, and also create a schedule through there as well. So I think that that's helpful if you're looking for more of an online platform. If you're looking for more of a to-go platform, something that's easy and flexible and you're able to quickly get access through, I would use the BookCon app. It is such a wonderful resource because not only are you able to plan out your schedule and able to add certain events to your calendar and bookmark exhibitors that you're interested in, there's also a whole community of readers that attend the event that there's a little feed that you can scroll through where people are constantly updating about the event and talking about books 24/7. We're here all year round and it really is a wonderful community. I've made so many of my bookish friends through that app, and I'm so glad that I downloaded it because not only is it really helpful in terms of planning out my schedule, but it's also really helpful in terms of making friends, because these are people that have attended the convention for 3-4 years. They know the drill and they're able to answer questions, and they're really warm and really friendly, and they're super helpful and really welcoming when it comes to answering questions and being open to new people in the community. So I would say whatever platform that you use, have multiple ways of getting access to your schedule, because the more that you write it down, the more that you plan and prepare it, just the better off you will be. I can't really give you a reason why, but just the fact that it works. Keep your schedule in several different places so you constantly have access to it. So now when it comes to putting your schedule together, what are some things that you should be aware of? I think that there's three major things. Number one is the location. Where are your events taking place? So for panels, you may see a room number, or it may say that it's on the main stage. And if you're looking at autographing sessions, it may be an in-booth signing, or it may be a signing in the autographing area. And if it's an in-booth signing, where on the show floor is it located? So of course, as of right now, we don't have a map yet. So a lot of these things may be nameless numbers or just completely and entirely meaningless. But what eventually ends up happening is BookCon puts out a map of the show floor and of the convention center that you can look at and can help you sort of visualize where everything is located. This is the map from last year. I'm going to say that again. This is the map from last year. You really can't see it at all that well, but I'm still putting it out there. BookCon has not put this information up yet. It may not come up until a few weeks before the convention, so you'll get it when you do, but it'll be really easy to access, and you can print out a physical copy, which is what I would recommend, because you can write out and encircle things and be able to highlight different booths and exhibitors that you're interested in. But this is really helpful, because let's say that you want to go to a panel that's in W470 and then you want to go to the autographing area and you have about 15 minutes between those. That may not be something that you're able to do because the distance between them is relatively long, as this is on the 4th floor and this is on the 2nd floor. So you're going to want to make sure that you're aware of that and where everything is located, so that you're not running around and you're confused. The more that you're aware of how the show floor is run and where everything is, the easier it'll be, because you'll just be able to go from place to place confidently, knowing where you're going and knowing what you're doing. And this is really helpful. So look at the map and know the location, because that may change your schedule at all, because you could see, oh, I want to go to a panel here and then do an autographing session, but I only have 15 minutes and they're very far apart. I don't want to be running and rushing and being one of those people, so maybe I'll change my schedule around a little bit and see, is there one that I want to prioritize or favorite or whatever. So just sort of keep that in mind when you're looking at the map once you get that information. So number two is knowing all of the rules and regulations. This is really important, because for panels, they're implementing a new policy where, depending on which panel type you're going to, whether it be a main stage panel or a regular panel, you may have to get your badge scanned. All main stage panels require a badge scan to get access, and this is something that I'll be talking about in a few minutes, but that's important to know because if you need to do that, then you need to know where to queue and how that whole process works. And then if you are going to a signing, is it an in-booth signing? Is it in the autographing area? If it's in the autographing area, do you need a wristband? And then if so, where do you queue and how do you get that? And then in booth signings, is it something where you're going to need a ticket? If so, when do you line up and queue for that? And then talking about books for the signing, are you able to bring books from home? Do you need to buy a book or is something provided? All that information is really important because the more that you're aware of how the event is supposed to work, the easier it'll be because you won't be as frantic. You'll immediately know, I want to go to this signing, I'm going to have to buy a book, so I'm not going to bring anything from home. You'll just be able to plan everything out and make everything a lot easier. So know those rules and regulations. They're on BOOKCON'S website. If you click on any event, the rules and regulations will be listed right under it. It's kept relatively simple and relatively easy, but it's still important to know those things and to look at them because the more that you're aware of how everything is run, the easier everything will be for you. So look at those rules and regulations. And then the final thing is to know the time that certain events are taking place because scheduling is the most important part of this entire thing. You don't want to be jam-packing your schedule with different events and different things. You want to enjoy yourself and you don't want to feel like you're rushing around and having to do 9 million things. Limit yourself to the things that you have the highest priority for, things that you're really excited about or things that you really want to do, and then try to add in everything else as you can. Don't worry about trying to attend everything. Just have fun and really enjoy yourself. Make time for yourself to eat and relax and drink and take a break and rest your feet, and don't constantly be running around from place to place to place because I did that last year and it was really fun. I got to attend everything that I wanted to attend, but I was exhausted and tired and sore afterwards, and it wasn't the best decision that I've ever made. So give yourself time to rest and to relax, and don't feel this need to cram everything in. But with that, don't automatically go and eliminate things because you may be double booking. So let's say that there's an event that you want to go to that's at 3 o'clock, and then you see that there's another event that you're interested in that's around the same time. You don't think you're going to be able to do both. I would say pick the one that's of the highest priority, the one that you're most interested in, and then keep the other one as a backup because so many people immediately have their schedule set and framed in their mind and there's nothing that's going to change that. So if something falls through, then it's immediately this frantic situation of what do I do? So if you keep backups and if you have a good idea of what it is that you're interested in and you're flexible, then who knows what other exciting things and other opportunities that you may encounter while you're on the show floor or while you're at the convention. So don't be afraid to have an open schedule and just sort of enjoy it and take it as it comes, but definitely be aware of the events and the things that you want to attend and have a priority of things that you're really interested in. So number 3, and we're going to keep this relatively brief, pack your bags and have everything planned out beforehand. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because even though it seems relatively obvious, it's still something that I think is worth mentioning because so many people wake up in the morning and they're not planned and prepared at all, and so they're running around and they're frantic and it's an absolute mess. Be prepared. Think about what you want to bring. Do you want to bring your phone? Bring a portable charger. That's one thing I would recommend because you're going to be on your phone is going to die, you're going to want to charge it. Bring a portable charger. That's like the number one thing that I could recommend. Bring water, bring a snack. For the most part, I think that that's fine. There is booths and areas where you can get food in the convention center, so you can always do that, but if you want to bring a water or some snacks that are like messy and light, I think that that's fine. Of course, I'm not entirely sure about this because different convention centers have different policies. If you want to do that, I don't think that that will be a problem, and if it is, then you can just go and throw it out, but I'm putting it out there because I did that last year and it was fine. Be aware of that if it's not okay. I would also say just bring anything that you think that you're going to need throughout the day. If you're a vlogger or a booktuber and you want to film, bring a camera. Whatever it is that you think that you need, have it packed beforehand. Definitely have your badges with you. And when it comes to bringing books from home, this is a question that I hear a lot of people ask a lot. How many books should I bring from home? Is there a limit, or what do you think would be the most reasonable? I would say it depends on your schedule and what type of events you're attending, because if you're able to bring books from home for a signing, I would say go for it. But bring like one book from home for an event. Don't bring piles and piles and piles of books. You want to keep it to a limit. So if you're going to a signing and you see that you need to buy a book for the signing, don't bring a book from home because you don't want to be carrying it around and lugging it around because you're going to get a lot of books and a lot of swag and things on the show floor, and you want to keep your weight weight as limited as possible. You don't want to be carrying around all of this stuff. There is a luggage check where you can go and bring like a luggage or a bag or whatever and drop stuff off. It's like $3 and you can do that, but still I would say just keep the books that you bring to a minimum. I would say like 4 books total because you're going to be getting a lot of stuff throughout the day and you want to keep that weight to a minimum. But like I said, all depends on your schedule and the different rules and regulations for each of the events. So of course that's why I'm saying that you have to look at that, you have to be aware, because that determines how many books that you're going to bring from home. And then also sort of going along with this, the dress code. I know so many people ask about what should I wear and is there a dress code and am I able to cosplay and all that other great stuff. So I want to briefly address that here. I would say that if you want to cosplay, number one, go for it. I'm not going to because I don't think that I'm that good at that, nor do I have anything that I specifically want to cosplay. But if you want to cosplay, that's totally cool. There is a handful of people that do it, and if I see any cosplayers, I will compliment you. I have the utmost respect for people that are able to pull those things off. I think it's so cool and I love looking at it and seeing people put those things together. So if you want to cosplay and you have a good cosplay, go for it. I would love to see Katniss Everdeen's and Harry Potter, Larry Frey's and all that other good stuff. So if you want to cosplay, go for it. Nobody is stopping you. As for the rest of us mundanes that are not going to be cosplaying, you wonder what is the dress code policy? What should I wear? My recommendation is dressy casual. So I would say at the minimum, a nice shirt, jeans, Converse, you're good because you want to wear something comfortable. You're going to be walking around the show floor, you're going to be constantly moving, and you want to wear something that you feel comfortable in. So wearing like a ball gown or wearing something that's really tight and really uncomfortable probably wouldn't be the best decision. And when it comes to shoes, don't wear flip-flops. I'm saying it now. Do not wear flip-flops. You will not thank yourself. You will get stepped on. Your feet will hurt. I would say wear Converse or closed-toed shoes, something that's comfortable, something you can walk in, and something that protects your feet because there's lots of people in the convention center and you're going to want to keep your feet protected. You don't want them to get stepped on. So at the minimum, wear sandals or Converse. Wear something that will protect your feet or gym shoes, whatever it is that you want to wear. I like dressing up a little bit more, so I'm going to be wearing a jumper one day and then a dress another. Both of these outfits, they're cute and they're comfortable for me. So I think that as long as you're wearing something that's comfortable and that's respectable, since you're going to be meeting authors and other people in the industry, you want to look at least decent and respectable. So jeans, nice t-shirt, that at a minimum, I think you're fine. So now getting to the day of stuff. Number one thing that you are going to hear from everybody about this convention is that you must get to the convention center as early as humanly possible. And the reason why I don't define a specific time for you because it's different for everybody. There are some people that are able to tolerate early mornings. I am one of those people. I get up at 5:30 every morning for school. But there's some people that will not get up to noon and will sleep in, and early mornings are the worst possible thing from them. But you're going to have to get up early because the later that you get to the convention center, the less likely that you'll be able to attend all those events that you really, really want to attend. Everybody has said this, that the earlier that they've gotten to the convention, the better their experience will be. So last year, I got to the convention center at around 6 in the morning, and I think that I was about the first 150 people there. But looking at some of the people who got there at like 7 or 8, it already started to stretch all the way around the convention center. It would have looked like I was at the very, very front of the line. So that's why I say get there early, because yes, it sucks waiting in line and you're just sitting around. You will thank yourself because you'll be able to attend all those really, really popular events because you'll be first in line for queuing. So get there early. You will thank yourself. I promise you. You're going to hear everybody say this, and I'm reiterating it because it's so, so, so important. So then getting to the certain policies and things that you need to be aware of day of. BookCon has a queue hall, and this is where you go morning about like 8, 9 o'clock, about an hour or two before the show floor opens. And this is where you get wristbands for autographing sessions and where you get your badges scanned for panels. So I'm going to talk about the badges first for panels because this is what we're entirely sure of because BookCon has announced this. So how this is going to work is that there are 5 main stage panels that take place every day, 10 total since BookCon is a 2-day convention. All of these main stage panels will require a badge scan to get access. So how this works, there will be a queue hall that has the names listed of all the different panels, and so you will go into the queuing line for the panel that you're interested in attending. And then there will be someone from the BookCon staff that will have a scanner or an iPad or something like that. It will scan the QR code on your badge, and then that will give you access to the panel. So then whenever the panel starts, there will be a BookCon staff member that'll scan your badge. If it lights up green, then you're able to go in and pick your seat, and if it lights up red, then I think you have to wait for everybody else, and then if there's any extra spaces, you can go in. But I think this is a really, really good process and it's a good thing to be aware of. So if you see any panels at all on BookCon's schedule that are labeled main stage, those are the panels that require a scanning for those badges. So be aware of that. The lines will fill up relatively quickly for a lot of these panels since they are for more popular authors and more popular events. So there's a lot of people that are going to want to attend them. So you want to know which panel you're going to want to queue up for, and there'll be a whiteboard that indicates all of that information. So make sure that you're aware of that and how that has worked for panels. And then for autographing sessions, BookCon has not announced any of their autographing sessions yet or any of their signings at all, but there definitely will be some. As for how the process is going to work, I'm going to tell you what they did last year. I have no idea if they're going to do this again, but I think that it was helpful and I think that it made the system work a lot easier, and so I hope this is something that they implement again. But of course, if this changes at all, everything is on BookCon's website and this isn't anything that I can do anything about. So this is just what I think is going to be the most helpful and what they're going to do because they did it last year and it seems like this is what they're going towards. So for all signings taking place in the autographing area, a wristband was required to get in to that area. So how this works, there are several different queuing lines for a set of authors based on the time that they're signing. And so if you're interested in an author that's taking place around the 3 o'clock timing session, you would go in to the line for that time, and when you get to the front, you would say the one author that you're interested in that time slot, and one of the staff members would put a wristband around your wrist. That gives you access to the line. As long as you get there at a decent time, you go, you line up, and if you need to buy a book for the signing, you buy a book in that line and then go into the next line for the actual signing. That I think was a really, really effective system, but as for whether they're going to change that or not, I have no idea. And the amount of wristbands that you can get, I think, is pretty much limitless. It just depends how many times you're willing to go through the line and how many authors fill up, because there is a limit on wristbands. It's not like everybody can get a wristband. For a certain author, they do have a limit and they do cap it off, as they do with panels, which is why they're doing this, so that things don't get filled up and that people aren't waiting around for hours and hours on end, that you have a good idea that morning what it is you're going to be doing and not doing because of the capacity that they're putting on all these different events. But be aware of that. It's stuff that'll just go through the day of. It's nothing you'll really be able to plan for or be able to anticipate go into this specific event unless you know that you get there early and you're one of the first people in line. So that's why I suggest that, because it'll be easier for you to anticipate that. The later you get there, it's likely you're gonna have to fill in your schedule and make a lot of changes because you may not be able to attend those bigger events. And so finally, we just have some last minute sort of tips and tricks for the show floor and surviving the day of. I would say number one, the big thing is just follow all the rules and regulations. Be respectful. Don't run or be loud or intolerant or rude to other people. Be respectful in lines and talk to people, make friends, have a really, really good time. You never know who you're gonna meet in lines or who you're going to find out that you have common interests with. So be open to talking to people. It's a book community. Everyone is so loving and so welcoming of everyone, and it really is the most positive place that I've ever been, and it was just so refreshing and such a wonderful experience. So just be respectful of BookCon and all their rules and all their regulations and have a good time and enjoy yourself. When it comes to then the booths and preparing for that, some things that I want to give some tips and tricks about is that throughout the day, all the different booths and exhibitors give out these little sheets that have their schedule on it throughout the day. This is the one from Epic Reads last year, and so they have some of their different giveaway information, what time, the different panels that have authors on there under their name, and then some autographing area signings from authors that are under their name as well. And then they also have stuff from the Epic Reads Lounge from last year and different events and things that are going on from certain authors. These are really, really helpful. You're going to see dozens of them from a whole bunch of different publishing houses and booths throughout the day, so that if there's an in-booth signing going on there, you'll see that, you'll see the time and how that all works. So I would definitely recommend picking a lot of these up, especially for the publishing houses that you're most interested in order to find out more about what's going on and how to maybe make some last minute changes to your schedule if you see that you want to attend any of these. They will be listed on BookCon's website, so it's something that you can plan and prepare for ahead of time, but still good to note. There's also these two other magazines that you can pick up throughout the day. This one is sort of like a BookCon sort of pamphlet that lists all the different authors attending, all the different panels, all the different exhibitors, and all of the different signings, all of that good stuff. And you can just flip through it. It has just all the different information, has some different ads for different authors that are going to be there and all that other good stuff. And like this is another booth from Macmillan and their schedule throughout the day. This is some of the stuff for the BookCon merch through ReadPop that you can get. This book is really helpful, has a whole bunch of tips and tricks and things throughout the day with the schedule and stuff like that. Then there's this magazine from Publishers Weekly, which is like their BookCon edition, and so they have a whole bunch of interviews from different authors that are going to be at the convention, a whole bunch of different ads and stuff like that, and also things about different booths and giveaways and fun stuff that they're doing throughout the day. So I definitely recommend picking these up and looking through them because I love the author interviews and going through all of that. It's just a fun thing to have and sort of like a little keepsake, so pick these up. They're laying out around the shelf floor, as are the lanyards for the badge that you need to wear, so you're able to get those. They're free and pick them right up. And then a final thing having to do with the different booths and publishers and their houses. One of the things that I would say is turn on all of your notifications on Twitter for the different publishing houses that you're interested in. A lot of times they'll announce code words or different things they'll be doing throughout the day, or art drops or whatever on their social media, and so you may see it and maybe like, oh, that's something that I want to go to, and so you'll go and go over there, but you won't know about that unless you get that notification. So turn on your notifications, and I would say leave it on for only them or any other authors or people that you're interested in and attending throughout the day. That way, not only will you not drain your battery, but you'll be able to get instant notifications and different things that may be going on throughout the day. So turn on those post notifications for all of those different houses, authors, and people that you're interested in seeing throughout the day. So I think that that's pretty much it. I pretty much covered everything, cover to cover. I really hope you guys have a wonderful time at this convention. Of course, if you are going, please comment down below. I would love to meet up and talk with some people and just really know what you guys are interested in. Is there a certain author that you're really excited to see? Let me know. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, like I said, if you have any questions at all about the event at any time, please let me know and I will try to answer them to the best of my possible abilities or direct you to somebody else who can. I feel like I rambled for a really long time, but I want to make sure that for all of you newbies that you have a wonderful time at this convention and you know the best possible way to plan and prepare yourself. I think I've said this 5 times by now, but thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're going to BookCon 2017, I'll see you there June 3rd and June 4th. Goodbye!